Hello, YTPC. Ethan, Parsimonious Piper here.
Bearded Piper Wade.
We're going to talk a little bit about hunting today. Going to educate myself. But first, in a 3-star large, pipe by the Apple, I've got some more of that Haunted Bookshop Balkan Supreme mix. What's that smelly crap you're smoking?
I have got Cornell and Deal's Yield Days of Yore or something like that, Christmas blend, and my Hardcastle pipe from Mel.
So, deer hunting season. Is that about over?
January 1st. It's the last day. Well, I think the last day is actually December 31st. January 1st is no longer legal.
So here in North Carolina, tell me about this. What do you guys do to go deer hunting?
You don't cough. You don't sneeze. I learned that the hard way. My buddy Roe has a couple of friends from our church that have stands. They've got a bunch of land, and some have some ground blinds, and then a couple have tree stands. So we've gone out a couple of times, and we get our camo on, or if we're completely hidden, we just wear whatever we want that's comfortable. And we've gone both night and day. You get out in the stand before sunrise or sunset, and you want to be situated there for about an hour or two before sun actually rises or sets. And so you get out there, and it's a lot of hurry up and wait. You get all your stuff together, you get your ammo, your rifle, or bow if you're shooting with a bow. Get everything all set. You sit down and you wait. You wait for the sun to go down. The places that we've been hunting, they put down corn. One has an automatic feeder that's timed to just drop the corn at certain times throughout the day. And the other one, the local farmer there, just goes out and puts corn out himself whenever he's feeling up to it. And so both times we've gone out, and the first time we went, didn't have much luck. We were up in a tree stand looking down at an automatic feeder. And Roe had warned me, when you go hunting, you've got to be silent, you've got to be still, no sudden movements. If you see a deer and it's looking up, if it's looking around, anything like that, you don't move. And he had gone hunting with a couple other buddies of ours before he had gone with me, and he said they're kind of squirmish, so it's kind of hard to go hunting with them. So I've got this in my mind that I'm not going to make that same mistake. I'm going to be dead silent, not moving, anything like that. We get up in the stand, and we're sitting there, and we're waiting, and we both brought a book to read. And so we're reading our books. Well, it comes about time to get the rifles up, get the bullet in the chamber, and get our scope set on the feeder. And so we do. And 5 o'clock hits, feeder drops the corn, and so we're just waiting. And all of a sudden, I've got this horrible urge to cough. And it was absolutely awful. I was sitting there crying, just trying to hold in this cough. And then eventually it had to come out. And so we didn't get anything that time.
Hold on. So you're sitting in a blind.
Mm-hmm.
The deer can't see you in the blind, right?
They can. We're not wearing any patterns on our face or anything like that. So we wear our camo. They can't see our legs because we've got a camo cloth in front of them. And then we wear camo on our upper body just to have some kind of pattern to keep them from being able to see us well. But our faces are completely shown, and unfortunately we have these bright orange hats on that don't have any patterns on them.
Well, but deer are colorblind.
Well,
so why don't you just wear bright orange camo so that hunters don't shoot each other?
Because Walmart didn't have any. In North Carolina, you are required, unfortunately, to wear, which I shouldn't say unfortunately, it makes sense. You're required to wear a blaze orange hat of some sort. But Walmart didn't have any camo blaze orange, so we just had to pick what we could get.
It seems to me you're mostly hiding from each other, not from the deer.
Well, it does pay off to be able to play a little bit of hide and seek if you don't come home with a deer. Do something while you're out there.
I was just curious because, yeah, with with deer being colorblind, I always wondered why you needed, mossy oak camo to blend into the scenery.
Because it makes us feel better.
Gotcha.
It's a fashion thing. We wouldn't get it.
So hypothetically, if you actually saw a deer, which Roe did, but you didn't. Hypothetically, if you saw a deer, how do you know where to shoot the thing? I mean, I'm sure you're not going to kneecap it, right? So,
I hope not.
How do you know where to shoot?
Well, ideally, if you're going out for the first time, you're going with someone who's experienced, who's done this before, and so
you get around you like a
yeah, that's right.
kind of hug you and
what's that movie with where they're doing the clay and everything, that sort of thing, where he comes in behind and yeah, no, we don't do any of that. This isn't Brokeback Mountain, but essentially we get our sights on the deer and then we zoom in to where we've got a relatively more accurate shot, and you're aiming for the shoulder or just behind the shoulder. You're aiming for any of those vital organs, and you're not likely to get a drop kill with this first shot, but you're aiming for something that, after the adrenaline runs out of their system, 50, 100 yards, however far they run, they end up dying. And I'm sorry, my mom's in
she's
the background
dancing
making faces.
Yeah.
So I get distracted easily. What was I saying? The deer run off. You're aiming for a vital spot, and
no.
That's kind of what you're looking to hit.
Why don't you just use like an infrared scope so you can see the heart?
Aren't those expensive? I'm assuming they're expensive. I've never actually... Whatever scope comes on the gun is kind of what I use.
Or you'd have like heat-seeking bullets or something.
I don't think heat-seeking bullets are a thing for any gun. I've never heard of them. If they are real, I would like to get my hands on some.
Just curious.
But yeah, and then you got to go track the deer once it does fall.
So I'm guessing you and Ro are hoping that if you do wind up hypothetically seeing a deer together and actually getting a shot off, that you cripple it so that the two of you don't have to go hiking for 6 or 7 miles through the woods to find a...
That's the worst thing about specifically one of the stands that we go to. It has this sharp decline hill, and we're shooting down the hill towards the feeder. So even if it drops right there at the feeder, we're dragging that thing back up. And we're both bigger guys. That's not fun. I don't like hiking without anything to drag, nonetheless with it. So yeah, we're hoping that we can blow out a shoulder or something like that so it drops and doesn't go anywhere from there. Yeah, he actually a couple nights ago he had texted me and said he had gotten a buck, and he sent me a picture, and it was a nice 7-point buck. But he had Josh, which is another one of our friends, who's very skinny, very scrawny, and so Josh helped him drag it, but he mostly had to drag that thing up that hill, and he was happy to get the buck, not so much to have to drag it up.
Yeah, I imagine. All right, so hunting rule number 1, don't shoot your partner.
That's a good one. I would definitely say that's a good rule of thumb.
Would don't scare off the deer come in a close second?
Yes. Yes, it would.
Okay. Just trying to figure this stuff out, folks.
It was my first couple of times hunting for deer. I had never done it before. Well, I had tried hunting, as some of you may have seen on one of my previous videos. I have tried hunting out in Arizona. I tried jackrabbit and all that, but that didn't go well either. Wasn't
Did you cough
then? No, I was not coughing then. Just didn't know exactly where to look.
So, if you don't have corn, how do you lure them in? I mean, you go, here, Bambi. How's that work? How do you get them to come toward you?
Well, other than the corn, I don't know. What?
Just take a bath in deer pee or something?
You can do that. We did not. That is not something that we are really interested in dealing with. I'd rather go without a deer than putting deer pee on me.
If you roll up in an F-150 with a bag of candy, yeah.
That might do it. We'll have to try that next time. Guess we'll have to get an F-150 first.
That would help. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't plan on doing any of the tracking stuff on foot with a bow. None of the real hunting. It's much easier to use corn.
You could call him Robo Hunter.
Well, that's not a bad idea. Gonna have to write that one down.
Come up with a whole logo and t-shirts for him. I'm with Robo Hunter.
I'm not a sidekick. No. We're not doing that now.
Well, considering that he got a deer,
Okay, all right.
and you didn't, I would, yeah, I'd say you're not much of a sidekick. I mean, at least Robin occasionally hits somebody, right? Kapow!
Y'all, listen. I wanted to do this video with Dad. I came to him this afternoon and said, hey, do you have any plans for a video? Do you have anything in mind? And he was like, well, I had a couple ideas. I was like, okay, well, I'd love to do one with you. Like, just really, I've been so much, like, looking forward to this time with him. I did not know I was coming out here to get roasted. So, this may be our last video together. I don't know. We'll see. I'll help my guys call your guys.
Okay, so hypothetically, if you ever kill a deer, what do you do with it then?
You pay someone to skin it and process it for you.
You said Rose got a friend who does that?
Yeah, Rose got a buddy from his church who does that for him, and so doesn't charge him anything. Just cleans it up and sends it to the processor, and then you pay the processor for whatever cuts you want. The guy that cleans it is also a taxidermist, so if you do happen to get a buck like Ro did, you can ask to keep the skull and antlers, or just the antlers, or mount the head, however you want to do that, and he'll clean it up for you. Eventually, I'd love to learn how to do it myself, but don't have the tools or resources or space to do it right now.
Now, if y'all field dressed it, you wouldn't have nearly as much weight to carry.
Mm-hmm. But then we got to get our hands bloody and dirty and
Mess up that manicure.
mm-hmm. Mess up the beard a little bit.
So how much meat do you get off of a typical deer?
That's a fantastic question. To be honest, I don't know. What Ro usually keeps, he usually takes the back straps. He does get those immediately from him when it's warm, and he takes them straight home and cooks them immediately. The last couple of times he's gone, he's been getting cube steaks and ground deer meat. As to how much you can actually process from the deer, I have no idea how many pounds you can get.
Yeah.
But he usually gets at least, I would say, 8, 9, 10 pounds of meat over time. And then I think he gives some of it to friends and family.
Well, folks, there you have it. This is hypothetically how you deer hunt in North Carolina. For all y'all hunters out there, let us know how it's done in your neck of the woods. Do you actually see deer? Do you take cough drops with you? Some people don't. With that, light something you like. Don't scare off the deer. Enjoy your afternoon.